12 months. Now they have a chance to go back-to-back in Sydney's West. Do the Glory. There you see the win probability. The home side, Macarthur, starting favourites. Perth Glory sitting second from bottom in the league, but can rejoin the peloton if they can pick up 3 points. Now, before we get going this evening, we have some sad news, and we will start with a minute's silence for the passing of Macarthur FC founder, Mr. Lang Walker.
We are saddened to hear of the passing of one of our founders of the Bulls, Lang Walker. We extend our deepest condolences to his family during this time. Let's have a moment of silence.
Well, let's have a look at our starting lineups then. Mile Sturjovski's team defeated Brisbane 3-1 last time out. It was a much-needed win after 3 losses and 3 draws that had seen them drop from 1st to 6th on the ladder. Keely Adamson joins Matt Miller, Danny De Silva and Ali Ogla on the injured list. Yanni Nicolau replaces Adamson at right back. Philip Curto continues in goal, having signed a new 2-year contract extension this week. While in midfield, Uli Davila has 5 goals in his last 2 matches. Alan Stagic's side, well, they're still without captain Mark Beavers, but the big news is that Adam Taggart is also missing with a calf strain picked up in last week's win away to Western Sydney. Luka Banovic, whose only goal for Perth Glory came against Macarthur earlier this season, he comes in for Taggart. And Bruce Kamau also heads to the bench as Jared Carluccio makes his first start since early December. It is back-to-back starts in goal for Ollie Sale, while Stefan Kolakovsky will shoulder the goal-scoring burden up front. Last weekend's match winner David Williams starts on the bench alongside Adriano Labib. First time in the matchday squad for him, and a nice birthday present. He turns 18 tomorrow. Well, it is a wonderful afternoon for football here in Campbelltown. You can see the 22-year-old Jake Holman there. He scored in Macarthur's 4-0 win over Perth Glory in the Cup playoff match at the end of last season. It set the tone for a goal-scoring season so far. 4 in the A-League for him. It's his best ever return. He's played every single match this term for the Bulls. Also in midfield, but on the Perth Glory side, is Gio Colli. 3 goals in his A-League career, the first of which came just a minute into a match against Macarthur 2 years ago with a free kick. He's playing regular football this season. He's played in all 13 matches for Perth Glory, but is still looking for that first goal this term. There is Mile Sturjovski alongside Christophe Gamel, his French assistant coach. Mile, who spent time in France with Lille, 3 seasons there. Former Socceroo, played in the A-League and is now looking to steer Macarthur into the finals for the first time in 3 years. Alan Stajic, he knows all about A-League football for the men and the women's competition. After turning around the Mariners' fortunes, now he is looking to do likewise with Perth Glory. Daniel Elder is our central referee today. He's being assisted by Kearney Robinson and Henry Day. Tim Danaskos is the 4th official. Chris Griffith-Jones is in the VAR room. And now we are all set for a start. Valère Germain, the French striker, with 6 goals so far this season for Macarthur, will get us underway. Macarthur looking for back-to-back wins for the first time in 2024. After 7 games this season, they were sitting top of the table, but things have gone downhill since then. Perth, Daniel McBreen, having ended their away day hoodoo last week. Can they go back-to-back?
Well, good afternoon, Robbie. I'm sure every Perth Glory fan will be hoping so. It was a long run without a win away from home. Not really deserved last week. The team's back to winning ways last week after less than ideal circumstances for the few weeks before that. So, for their own reasons, they'll both be wanting the 3 points to just keep in touch with the ones respectively in front of them. Macarthur up to 24. Just keep tabs on those ones near the top of the table.
It is very, very tight at the top, and despite what was a very difficult start to the season for Perth Glory, and we've heard all about their trials and tribulations off the pitch, last weekend's win over high-flying Western Sydney was a real shot in the arm for them. And they can leave Western United behind in bottom spot if they can pick up 3 points again here today, and they will be right on the coattails of Newcastle in 10th place. It is still so tight, even for Western United. Back-to-back wins, and you're right back in the hunt.
Well, that's the important thing, isn't it? The back-to-back. It's hard to do. Things aren't going your way. If Perth don't get that back-to-back win this week, it's 5 points adrift from Newcastle. It just starts to look a bit insurmountable. The psychology of it starts to kick in. Hopefully, some more positive news coming in regards off the field with the sale of the club coming soon, hopefully. They can start to translate that into some positive news on the field as well.
There are lots of murmurs and rumours coming out of Western Australia that the deal is almost done. And that will be great news for the league as well. As for those, I guess we could call them long-suffering Perth Glory fans, at least in terms of having their team back under strong leadership and heading in the right direction. When we look at the ladder, one thing becomes very clear is that we're seeing a lot of goals scored, as the offside flag doesn't even need to go up against Stefan Kolakowski.
I don't think I've seen anyone so far offside on a run. He's timed that horrifically.
What I was going to say was, when you look at the ladder and all these goals scored, Perth have scored at least twice in their last 6 matches. They are scoring goals at a very impressive rate up front. We'll see how they go today without Adam Taggart, which of course is a massive blow, but Kolakowski, it's been a great return to form for him with 5 goals so far this season, but Adam Taggart has 8, missing with that calf strain. Latchman is under a little bit of pressure, but just the 1 clean sheet all season against Western Sydney. For Macarthur, it's 7 games without a clean sheet, and when you look at the top of the table, the sides that are there, Victory, Wellington and Western Sydney, and the Mariners, is the best defences in the land.
Yes, exactly, and that's the difference. The old saying, isn't it? Defences win championships, attacks will win your games.
So in theory, you need both. Bacchus. The trick is to find that balance. Jed Drew taking on Riley Warland. That's a good pass out of defence for Warland. Finds Kolakowski, who pirouettes on the ball and still emerges in possession. Then that's brilliant play. Cutting through Bacchus and Nicolaou. And he's then fouled.
Well, he's done very well there, Kolakowski. Plenty of black shirts around him, got through there. He has a little look up here and says, well, I've got no one to play with. Draws the foul. He worked so well in tandem, in particular last week with Taggart. They were exceptional as a front two. He needs to have that same link-up play today with Ivanovic.
Well, he'll have fond memories of playing against Macarthur. His famous goal in the semi-final, along with Marco Tilio for Melbourne City 3 seasons ago, as City went all the way to grand final triumph. He played his role. That came against Macarthur, of course, in their inaugural season. Now Mustafa Amini with Gio Colli. Little touch off from Carluccio was a good one. Katrumbas' ball in as well, and the flag is up for offside.
It was neat play from Perth. Katrumbas, he just needs to have a look across the line. Very close, really, wasn't it? Mao on the other side almost kept him onside, but just went a bit too early. But neat combination play just to open up the situation for Perth.
Germain was under pressure, can't keep it in play. Throw goes Perth's way. Referee Daniel Elder wants it taken from the right place. Ivanovic. It's been a long time between drinks for Luke Ivanovic, but one of those big drinks came against Macarthur. His first goal in over a year, and his first for Brisbane came earlier this season against the Bulls. A match in which they were trailing by 2-0 at HBF Park, only to come storming back. Davy Williams getting the winner in stoppage time. 3-2 win for Perth. Carluccio, it's a nice turn. Benny, his cross blocked by Muyica. Perhaps Jared Carluccio could have taken a shot there. Worked himself into a good position. He scored a great goal during Unite round as well against the Wellington Phoenix. In the end, in a losing cause. Katrumbas with Daniel Benny again. Coming inside, Gio Colli. Shushnyar, the man that played 50 times in the A-League for Macarthur. Didn't play much last season. It was an injury and then appeared to fall out of favour. That would at least be confirmed by the fact that he left and headed to Perth. He also scored a great goal against Wellington Phoenix in the Unite round. Benny with Katrumbas. He's looking lively in these opening minutes. Johnny Katrumbas. Energy to burn.
He's been very high, very early, hasn't he? Been involved in the play down this right-hand side. At the moment, Macarthur finding it difficult to get out of their back third, aren't they? Very positive start from Perth.
Nicolau in support of Bacchus. Bypasses Davila. It's a good ball for Raphael. Raphael. Little ball inside. Oh, he's found Germain. Now for Davila. That is brilliant football. Absolutely sensational. Well, they've been camped in their own penalty box for the first 9 minutes of this match, and then they burst forward with some touches of absolute class to take the lead through the man of the moment, Uli Davila.
Well, let's have a look at this on the Harvey Norman replay. Great run from Raphael. We spoke in the pre-game about the youngsters going forward and the old heads around them. Look at that from Valère-Germain. A lesser player might have thought, well, I'm just going to have a crack first time, but he sees the run from Davila, totally unmarked in the box. And a man of his quality and class, there's only one outcome there. One touch, a little scoop over Ollie Sale, who throws the arms in the air and says, well, what am I supposed to do? Fantastic football from Macarthur. And who else to round it off but Uli Davila?
A 7th goal of the season for Senor Davila in match 101. And a 3rd assist for Valère Germain as well.
That was wonderful football, wasn't it? We spoke, as I said, in the pre-game about the exuberance of Raphael and Drew in the wide areas and how Valère Germain likes to come short and link up the play. And he found himself on the edge of the box there with just a beautiful little pass into Davila. He tore the Perth Glory defence apart.
Well, they have an early goal for just the 3rd time this season. Their home record, as Glenn Lauder told us in the pre-game show, hasn't always been the best. Just 2 wins so far this season in Campbelltown. But they have opened the scoring now for the 9th time. That equals the Newcastle Jets as the best in the league.
Well, Glenn Lauder asked Valère Germain, how do they win this game? And he said, we need to score early and have some game management to go with that. So they've already done the first part. Let's see how the second part pans out.
Well, it's a familiar feeling, isn't it? Because they were 2-0 up in Perth against this same Glory side. So they'll certainly know that that early goal is an advantage, but not definitive. Katrumbas looking for Carluccio, the 2 former Western Sydney men. Jared Carluccio, who's still on loan, but told the official Perth Glory radio show this week that he loves it in the West and wants to stay. Hopefully the ownership of the club can get sorted out as quickly as possible, and then they can sign a few players. Luke Ivanovic with a sighting at goal. And it's Perth back on the front foot.
It's a good early ball from Kolakowski. We spoke about that as well, where last week he and Taggart seemed to have an innate understanding where the other was going to be. Indeed. So in the same way here, with a good early ball into the box.
Philip Kurto, the Polish keeper, watchful. It's taken short. Only Davila forward. It makes it all the way through towards Luke Ivanovic, saved by Kurto, who signed through to the end of 2027 this week with the club. He's made more saves than any other keeper in the league this season, Philip Kurto, which suggests that there's going to be plenty more goalmouth action in this one still to come, as Holman decides to try his luck from distance.
Well, we had a little chat, didn't we, before we came on air today. 30% of the goals in Macarthur games come in the last 15 minutes, so a long way to go yet. Holman, why not? Plenty of space there, wasn't he? No one closing him down. I've seen him score from range before.
Western Sydney Wanderers know all about it from earlier this season. A stunning goal, one of the contenders for goal of the season, but this is probably going to be one of the toughest ever goal of the season competitions with the goals we've had.
There's so many as well.
I'm saying it almost every week. There's a new contender. And in terms of team goals and those little bits of classy moments, that one just in the 9th minute today
exactly
is right up there as well. Magic of football and the class players that can surprise you when you're watching, even with the little pass, is what Valère Germain provided then. That's good play from Katrumbas, who got in front of Vujica.
Just slipped away from him at the last minute, didn't he? Did very well. Put his body there, used his pace.
Is that to watch from the bench the last couple of matches with Keely Adamson, who arrived from Sydney FC taking advantage of a little niggle, and Nicolau has also played a lot of football, as have these Macarthur players this season with the AFC Cup. Germain somehow gets it back to Raphael. Now Davila over the top. Latchman has front position. It's come off Latchman, so he has to keep it in, or try to. Germain again finds Bacchus. Nicolau. Jed Drew outside him. Yanni Nicolau. Bacchus. Holman. Davila. Just letting it run. He's not the most physical player, Davila, but such sleight of hand and deception in his movements. Yerman. Up, adjusted well. Matt Yerman again, he's enjoying a run in the side following Aspro Potomidi's departure mid-season alongside Tommy Uscock. This is the better spell of possession for Macarthur. It's reflected there. They're just starting to see a little bit more of the ball in the last 5 minutes or so. 2 shots apiece. There's the telling difference. Only Davila's was on target. Something Perth are yet to conjure. Raphael. Certainly Macarthur are a transition side. When you sit off them, they can perhaps just struggle a little bit to play their way through, to find openings. In the end, Yerman runs out of patience, looks long for Jed Drew. Can't get the better of Riley Warland. Amini, he's done well. He's done very well, Mustafa Amini. That's great play for Ivanovic now. Got Daniel Benny ahead of him. The youngster needs to find an option. Here's Katrumbas. Now Perth patiently rebuild, having forced Macarthur onto the back foot. Shushnya. Latchman with Katrumbas again. Just playing around the perimeter, quite similar to the way Macarthur were at the other end a few moments ago. Can they produce something a little more cutting? That's a good ball for Carluccio, trying to dribble his way through. Just finding himself in a little pocket of space. Germain was trying to put the pressure on, but he was looking over his shoulder to see if anyone was following him.
Well, we've seen Macarthur play this way so often, haven't we? As you say, great on the transition. Experience of Germain as a target in the middle. Youth and speed in the wide areas. Saw that used to perfection in the first goal.
That's well played, and Katrumbas, his shot was blocked by Yerman. Great ball from Giordano Colli.
Well, he's probably been Perth's best player in the opening 20 minutes, hasn't he? In forward, looking to get inside, get a shot away on this occasion. He's been around the outside a couple of times, trying to get crosses in as well.
"25 years of age, Katrumbas, former Western Sydney Wanderer, sitting on 4 yellow cards, the only player in the match under threat of a suspension if he picks up a yellow today. Corner in near post. Germain doing the other part of his job, apart from setting up goals, is also defending at that near post from set pieces. Voyitsa. Yerman. All the way across with Nicolau. Bacchus wanted it into feet, but the space closed quickly. Cock with a little bit of space down the right-hand side. Nicolau. See those two lines of four from Perth Glory making it very hard to find space and a target in the middle. Holman is able to turn centrally. Sprays it outside to Raphael. Vujica. Bacchus again. Jed Drew. There's really not much pressure on either side at the moment when they're in possession. Davila with Bacchus. Now the rotation finds a bit of space for the cross. It's not a bad ball either. Shushnia completely missed it. Vujica can't find Raphael. Johnny Katrumbas is there again. Can he keep it in play? Does only just, but then knocks it out.
Well, I thought Katrumbas was just caught there as he went to turn. The referee says that, no, just lost his footing.
Cock again, seeing this big U shape from Macarthur. Down one side, bring it all the way back down the other wing. It's up. Now there you can hear the Perth Glory bench trying to get the press going. And Daniel Benny does help win it back with Katrumbas. Counter press, immediate there. Throw goes Perth's way. Let's head down to Glenn Lauder, who's on the sidelines for us this afternoon. Glenn, what's the atmosphere like down there?
Yeah, afternoon, Robbie. Well, cowbells are plenty, as you can imagine, at Campbelltown, and why wouldn't there be? What a combination that Valère Germain and Uli Davila are linking up now. That's 13 goals between them, and the assists are coming as well. 6 assists between them as well. It's a really formidable strike combination, and interestingly, Uli Davila hasn't scored more than 7 goals a season since he's first in the A-League back in 1920 when he scored 12 for Wellington. So he's equalled his return from 2021 and 21-22, and with still plenty of time left in the season, you can expect him to probably find double figures, I would suggest.
Thank you, Glenn. Yes, a Johnny Warren medalist back in 1920 with Wellington Phoenix, and you do get the feeling, I don't know if it's that we don't expect it each season, but you always have the feeling that Uli Davila is just getting better and better as well.
Well, he's just been class since he came, hasn't he? Let's be honest.
Jed Drew onto the front foot. As we'll go back to the singing the praises of Uli Davila in a moment. That one turned over. Ollie Sale, who promised at the end of the last game that he'd bring his proper boots so that his passing game was a little bit better, but again it's just rushed and turned over immediately.
That's probably the biggest negative in his game, isn't it? His distribution has been off.
It was really a confidence thing at the start of the season as well, wasn't it? He played the first 2 matches, then was dropped. A couple of big mistakes, glaring errors that proved very costly. We saw Cameron Cook come in to replace him in the lineup as Germain that time just overhit that pass. He's furious with himself already. But Ollie Sale returned last week for what was roundly welcomed by the Glory fans as a courageous, heroic victory over Western Sydney. They are a tough place to travel to, but in recent times they haven't been the toughest opponent when on the road themselves. That first win of the season, the first since November 2022. when they beat the Mariners. And it was a welcome result for them in the face of such adversity as well. Now the big challenge is to go on with it. Shushnya with Amini. Perth's turn to have possession. I guess this happens when you've got two sides that want to transition, isn't it?
I was just about to say, last week's performance was a counter-attacking performance, wasn't it? And this one, they have to work out a different way to unlock the defence. Need to move that ball quick. Move this Macarthur defence around.
Benny coming inside. Shushnya, who knows this ground well, of course, has got there, or not got there rather, but the ball is adjudged to have taken a touch off Daniel Benny. And it will be another corner for Perth Glory. The last one they took short, and Uli Davila was the only player that went out to face the two. Ramini dealing with the cowbells in his ears there to take this one. In it comes, it's a good ball as well, and it falls to Gio Colley. But probably should have done better there, Colley, trying to place it or even pushing the ball back into the middle.
Yeah, I'm not too sure whether he was trying to just guide it into that far corner or just think it. I think he's actually just trying to punch it into that far side netting, but just got it all wrong. Maybe the laces there, or even take a touch, bring it down and then have a go.
We know he can hit them as well. His goal against Adelaide last season at Coopers was named goal of the season. An absolute thunderbolt on a losing cause that day, but here come Perth again. Ivanovic. Colley wanted it quickly into feet in the middle. He's still calling for it, but he's got to find the angle for the pass. Katrumbas. Ivanovic whips it in early, headed away by Yerman. That's good feet from Bacchus, and this is where Macarthur is so dangerous. Riley Warland does well, but his header only into the path of Jed Drew. Davila back outside with Germain. Holman's run makes space for Bacchus, who just tried to kill the ball and set it up, I think, and completely missed it. That's well defended by Yerman.
He just took his eye off the ball, and he knows it. Something was brewing there. He had good field position, a little bit of space. See there, he just has a little look up. Studs grazed the top of the ball. The moment was lost.
Approaching the half hour. Uli Davila's 7th of the season. Scored 3 matches in a row now. After that great hat-trick, a last-minute hat-trick with that deflected header in the last minute in that 3-3 draw in Unite round. On the score sheet again against Brisbane last weekend. Kolakovsky against Nicolaou. His cross is deflected, but in the end that just took a bit of the sting out of it. Comfortable for Curto. "32 years of age now, having joined from Western United. Before that, Wellington Phoenix. Has as well, Philip Curto. Davila with Holman. Bujitsa leaves it for Raphael. Good challenge from Amini, finding Ivanovic. And Holman does very well to win that back. He had to as well because he was a little bit casual.
Yeah. A little bit sloppy, too long. Did well to get back and recover.
And having won it back, you have to be careful when Uli Davila's on the ball. Nicolau, his cross, takes a touch, appeals for a hand. Daniel Elder says it was tucked into the body.
Well, every player on the park seemed to stop, didn't they? I think everybody thought there was going to be a call for a handball there. But play on it is.
Time Perth Glory have come from behind to win this season after conceding the opening goal was against Macarthur. They did it all in the second half, so this one far from over. But for the moment, the two sides are really nullifying each other, aren't they, tactically?
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be too much urgency yet, does there? It's moving the ball around both teams, but with no real purpose, it would seem. Let's see.
That's a good ball. Find Kolakovsky, and just when they got into a promising part of the field, it comes undone.
It's all just been a little, you see, sloppy there on that occasion, but just a little laboured, just a little, we'll just move the ball around for moving the ball around sake rather than we're trying to, oh, there's another giveaway, and another.
Again. And that's what happens when they try and play with a little bit more urgency at the moment, because the game is being played at a very pedestrian pace, really. It's not easy to accelerate when you need to.
You just want to see a little bit more conviction, don't you? A little bit more pace on the passing, a little bit more sharpness on the ball. Can we try to penetrate with some good sharp passing, 1-2 touch maybe, but it's just all a little laboured.
Ball in, headed away by Uzkok. Only as far as Amini. Again, manages just to get there ahead of Katrumbas. Holman in the triangle does well. Amini can't trip Raphael. Katrumbas does well to stick to him there, and in the end wins it off him. He's had a good game, Johnny Katrumbas. 33 minutes in. Both benches are asking for a little bit more from their players as well. They need a little bit more movement, certainly. Perth Glory are the side that are chasing the game at the moment. That's a good run from Ivanovic, found by Katrumbas. He chips it up to the back post. The header is not a good one from Nicolau, but Riley Wallen couldn't make him pay.
They got away with that there, Macarthur, didn't they? They just needed to talk a little bit to fix it up. And, of course, I was about to say, Uli Davila gets them out of problems and they managed to retain possession. That was a little bit better from Perth Glory. We heard a shout of forward runs. I'm not sure if that came from the Perth Glory bench, but as soon as there was a forward running behind, there was a cross in the box. Just, as we said, a little stagnant.
Bujitsa was just caught on his heels a moment there as Davila tried to release him down the left. Don't forget the Socceroos are coming up later this evening, 10:30 on Channel 10 and Paramount Plus, taking on Indonesia in the last 16 of the Asian Cup. Knockout stages of that competition getting underway this evening, and still at a very good time to get behind the national team as well, because the quarter-final is going to be a late one against either Saudi Arabia or Korea Republic. Should the Socceroos get through, of course.
I was going to say anything past 9 o'clock is usually past my bedtime, but I'll make an exception.
Raphael, his cross deflected. Safe one for Ollie Sale. Now Gio Colli looking to set things up again with Mustafa Amini. Wide for Katrumbas. It's a good first touch that kept him running forward, the momentum. It wasn't a bad ball into that kind of area as well.
No, there's nothing wrong with the ball at all. He's got himself in a good position there. Put it across the 6-yard area, but when he looks up, just seen so many turnovers at the moment. I was just about to say, when Katrumbas looks up, it's 4 Macarthur shirts and only 1 Perth Glory player making the run in the middle. Playing with a 4-4-2. These 2 strikers need to be getting in, 1 near, 1 far. Get one of those other midfielders coming on the edge, then you're hitting your marks, but it's not quite happening at the moment for Perth.
Here's Bacchus. The 2 players in each team that have seen more of the football, had more touches. Darryl Latchman and Shushnyar for Perth, Yerman and Uscott for Macarthur.
Get those passing numbers up.
Holman, whose statistics this season is quite remarkable, are almost identical to those of Uli Davila. Now they're quite different players, but in many respects this is a breakout season for Jake Holman. He's been amongst the goals. He sees a lot of the ball and is making things happen as well in this side. It's back to Kurto, and Polakovsky diving in and trying to catch out the Macarthur backs there.
Just a little bit of excitement there. Little bobble off the pitch there just made Philip Kurte just a little stutter step.
And that bobble is also one of the reasons why you never pass it back in the middle of the goal to your keeper. Always off to the side, because you never know what could happen. Oh, as Nicolau has been bundled over by Daniel Benny there, and a free kick is given Macarthur's way.
See there, blocked off the run.
Ollie Sale, who came in to be first choice, of course, was benched after 2 games, and according to Alan Stajic, very professional, maintained his level, was a good team player even when watching from the bench, which can't have been easy for the Kiwi international. Well, free kick routine, fails to get a ball anywhere near the box, and now Kolakovsky with the back heel for Ivanovic. Trying to take on Yerman, and again Players doing a lot of apologising at the moment to their teammates.
Well, it's been very scrappy at times, hasn't it? It all plays into the hands of Macarthur, really, doesn't it? At home, 1-0 up. Happy for the game to unfold this way.
Raphael, this time, with Vujica. Ivan Vujica's cross is blocked. They'll have a corner. Well, it's amazing that the quality of the goal that is in stark contrast to so much of the rest of this first half. It was quite literally a brilliant opening goal from Uli Davila, which was reflective of the way Macarthur play when they're at their best, and also the individual talent of the players that they have at their disposal. But it is like a beacon of light in the night at the moment in this match. Holman delivers near post. Davila again with Raphael against Benny. Raphael cuts one way then the other. Still going. It's blocked. Katrumbas with Ivanovic, and perhaps Perth with the chance to break. Ivanovic charging forward, so is Kolakovski. Forces Kurto to come out and do the sweeping outside his box.
Well, I think when you look at the stats and you see we've had one shot on target for the first half, obviously that's from our only goal. It tells a story.
Six shots in total. But barely a save to make for either keeper. Here's Jedru looking for Davila. Jedru's run in behind. Daniel Benny does well with Warland. Back to Ollie Sale, under pressure. Why wouldn't you put him under a bit of pressure either? Second ball falls Perth's way. Oh, the mistake by Mustafa Amini. He's given it to Davila. Uli Davila cuts it back. Raphael, oh, he's put it just wide. He claims it took a touch off Katrumbas. Well, what a mistake by Mustafa Amini, to the very worst person on the field you'd want to give it to.
Well, credit to Ollie Sale here. He got out quick and he shepherded Uli Davila away. It was just enough to keep him from getting a shot away. The last person, as you say, you want to have the ball in that area. And they scrambled back in numbers. Raphael unable to hit the target.
Well, I think both coaches won't be happy with the performance of their sides in this first half, but that moment for Alen Stajic was probably just about the moment. We've seen some loose passes, but nothing quite so drastic as that from Mustafa Amini. Now Ivanovic. Katrumbas with Amini again. Giordano Colli. Riley Warland. Flag has stayed down, only just. Now Benny's ball in is not a bad one. Just too high for Kolakovski and Ivanovic. Yerman and Nicolaou still asking questions of the offside flag.
Another cross for Perth. It wasn't from the right angle, was it, with the way the runs were going as well? It hasn't been an oil painting this first half.
Abstract. A header from Vujica finds Holman. Again, waiting for options.
You see Ivan Vujica there saying, give me a run forward. I had time on the ball, I was looking to play it. Perth do play with a relatively high line, or they have been in this first half. Need someone to make that run, stretch the line.
1 minute of stoppage time shown by fourth official Tim Danascus. Ollie Sale rolls the ball out to Shushnya. He says, let's go. Well, he's a player that will want to prove a point as well, returning here to Campbelltown. Katrumbas. His cross deep to the back post. Warland drives it back in. Oh, and Kieran Bacchus was trying to clear that in completely the opposite direction.
Well, you'll be hoping that this doesn't prove costly, because as the ball came back in, it wasn't under that much pressure just to clear it out for a throw-in or upfield, and it's gone out for a corner.
Amini delivers it in this time. Curto comes and flaps at it. Colley, almost a carbon copy from a corner earlier in the half. It fell to Gio Colley again. That time it was on target.
He's found himself twice now in that space. Again, he just couldn't quite get the power to get it past. He's got the knee out.
Now this will be the last chance of the first half, as there a few words between Shushnya and Yerman. Both pretty experienced players. And back together again. A couple of words between the two big central defenders. The ball in, Germain's header, Carluccio with the chance to drive it back in. And that is that. 45 minutes in Sydney's southwest, punctuated by a brilliant team goal scored by Uli Davila in the 9th minute. It is the difference between the two sides, and it was a goal worthy of the lead at the break. Macarthur 1, Perth Glory 0. And you can join us after the break with Tristan McManus, Luke Wiltshire and Daniel McBreen for the halftime show.
This year's Alex Tobin Medal is brought to you by Isuzu Ute, awarded to the best player of the season as nominated by the Paramount ANZ football team. The winner of the prestigious award will receive $10,000. Plus, the Isuzu Ute Alex Tobin medalist will nominate a junior football club of choice to win a brand new, top-of-the-range Isuzu D-Max or 7-seat MUX to be announced during the grand final. To stay in touch with the leaderboard, tune in for weekly updates at your home of football.
Welcome back to Paramount Plus and 10 Bold. You're watching the Isuzu Ute A-League competition, where the home side, Macarthur FC, are leading Perth Glory by a goal to nil. Macarthur looking for back-to-back wins and making it 5 games without defeat. Perth Glory, well, they enjoyed some joy last week in Western Sydney. That surprise 2-1 win over the Western Sydney Wanderers. Can they go back-to-back? Well, they're chasing the game at the moment as the second half gets underway. No changes to either side at the break, and certainly if Perth want to turn this one around and get back-to-back wins on the road, they are going to have to produce more than they did in that opening 45 minutes.
Well, they are, Robbie. A little bit more urgency and intensity, I'm sure both managers would have said from their team. More so, Alan Stajic with his Perth Glory team chasing 1-0 down. We'll be asking for them to move that ball with a little bit more purpose, a little bit better movement in between lines.
As we see the two teams at the bottom of your screen there, no changes. The goal next to the captain, Uli Davila. Macarthur and Perth, who are both very adept at transition football, have both tried to sit back to counter the other side's counter-attacking, if you like. Here's Luka Ivanovic trying to take on Tommy Uzkok, no way through. It's almost matching 4-4-2s really for both sides. Even though when you get Davila pushing up alongside Valère Germain, that's certainly more of a 3 up front for Macarthur most of the time. Here's Mustafa Amini back with Daryl Latchman. It's been the central defenders that have seen all the ball for both sides. Here they are again. Latchman with Shushnya alongside him. Ivanovic is full of running. Here he is again, now trying to come inside. Holman just got enough of a touch on that one. Nicolau runs it away with Jed Drew. Take Holman again. Under pressure from Kolakovsky. And Kolakovsky thought that he'd won the throw. Referee says free kick Bulls way, and now Kolakovsky and Holman are exchanging words. A couple of young bucks on the pitch, and it's a yellow card for Stefan Kolakovsky, the first of the match.
Well, maybe he's trying to fire his team up. Seemed to be a storm in a teacup there. Yeah. They're taking each other's phone number, catch up for a coffee after the game.
I wonder if Alan Stajic will be too upset with that. He's seeing a little bit of spirit, which was lacking in that opening 45 minutes.
A little bit of firing up, shows a little bit of passion. Be hoping it has the desired effect.
Oh, yeah, look at the press from Macarthur, but Shushnya does it very coolly, finds Colley. His switch of play, inviting Katrumbas forward. On the transition, Benny cuts it back, Ivanovic. And Kurto, oh, under pressure from Kolakovsky. Well, that is, by some distance, the best passage of play for Perth in this match.
Yeah, that was much better. Moving the ball quickly, switching the play. Forward runs. Nice little look up and cut back. It was Yerman who to make the final challenge to get the block in. That's what Alan Stajic will be wanting to see more of.
Came at the moment where Macarthur were trying to press high up the pitch and Perth were able to play their transition game. Here's Nicolau. side, Holman. He's been restricted just to that one effort from distance, Holman, but he's won it back there, and Carluccio's gone to ground. Now Jake Holman's turn to be upset with the decision.
A little bit of contact there.
Yeah, just after he touched the ball, I think, a little just in the follow-through, but certainly Jared Carluccio, as we could say, made the most of that contact. He's straight back onto his feet. Gio Colli forced to chase that ball down. Shushnia. Dragging back Holman. Jake Holman's getting involved in all the action as well at the moment.
Well, we're seeing a little bit more fight, aren't we, in the second half? Sure, as we said, both managers, Stagis more in particular, may have read the riot act a little bit.
Jed Drew. Ball just forced Holman to stretch. Now Amini. Immediately look at the forward runs. That's what they were calling for. Katrumbas's ball. It falls for Kolakowski. Has a great shot on him, as he showed last week as well with that opening goal against Western Sydney. But that was the second little opening.
Well, again, forward runs at pace, ball released, and just stretching a little bit there, Kolakowski. That's why the ball went high. But a few more positive signs for Perth Glory in this second half.
Curto under pressure. Again, Kolakowski doing the hard yards, and it's Perth's turn to win it back high up the pitch. Benny's cross. Well, it's a much more positive start to this second half from Perth Glory than certainly the way they ended, as we see those two men making their way towards the halfway line. David Williams and Bruce Kamau.
It would appear that they got you've got 5 minutes, chat, or are making changes.
Do you use that one with the kids?
Well, not so much. I've heard it plenty of times in my career, though.
Well, those changes look like they're going to come now for Perth. Williams, who was excellent last week when he came on against Western Sydney, ended up getting the winning goal. Now Rafael with Davila. First time ball. Germain has it back. Bacchus. Holman with Nicolau. Rafael was ghosting in at the back post. The ball didn't come. Credit to Perth, I guess, as far as they've once again repelled that first foray into their box from Macarthur. They've forced the balls back. Good challenge from Shushnia. Kolakowski just took his eye off the ball again. Holman. Kolakowski's full of running, though.
He's a one-man pressing machine at the moment, isn't he? He's just pressed 3 different players on his own. Maybe he had a little glance over to the sideline and saw who was warming up. Thinks maybe the time is numbered.
Well, certainly Williams is an out-and-out striker. Here's Ivanovic. Little touch for Katrumbas. Drives it in low towards Kolakowski, and it's cleared by Holman. Corner for the away side.
Well, they're making some inroads, aren't they? Johnny Katrumbas has probably been one of Perth's best today. Forward run, gets his head up. Too many black shirts there, and Holman does well to get back.
That was it, just too many black and white shirts there for the Bulls. Riley Warland with the corner. High to the back post. Latchman's nod down. There was a fair bit of grappling and holding on as Ivanovic couldn't get free for the shot. Warland, rather fortunately, finds Amini, and then Gio Colley's feet get in the way of that pass. Colley has it back. No free kick, says the referee. Play on. Amini with Ivanovic. Good strength. Gio Colley now drives it in. Cleared by Vujica. Good spell this for Perth. Latchman with Warland. Back post, that's a great run. Well spotted. Katrumbas again. Across the face of goal. Carluccio can't get there. He was apologising just moments earlier for not getting into the box quickly enough, and there was another half chance that goes begging for the boy from Liverpool in Sydney's West.
Well, it's been a much more positive start to the second half from Perth Glory. Making inroads again behind Macarthur defence.
Carluccio, here they come again. Warland, that's a great cross, surely this time. Oh, it's put wide by Luke Ivanovic, whose only goal in 2 seasons for Brisbane came against Macarthur. The first time they met, and should have done better.
Well, he should have. He got the right side of the defender there, and it looks like he ends up thigh-ing the ball towards goal. Not sure if he misjudged the flight. It was a great chance. That will be his last opportunity in the match as Davey Williams replaces him.
So Williams on for Ivanovic, and Carluccio making way as well. He's replaced by Bruce Kamau.
Well, I was down on the field before the game last week talking to Davey Williams. Staggs walked over and said, I don't want the winner. I don't want a goal from you. I want the winner. And jokingly, well, he delivered, didn't he, Davey Williams? And I wonder if he just gave him the same chat. It worked last time out. Let's have the same chat again.
And here they come. Williams with the touch for Benny. Driving at Vujica. He's an underrated defender, Ivan Vujica. Most of the time, defensively, he really does stick to his guns. One-on-one, he's very tough to manoeuvre. Well, Macarthur won't have forgotten that Williams also scored the winner against them in the 90-plus minutes of that match in Perth as well. So 2 goals this season, both of them last-minute winners. Signed halfway through last season from India when he returned to the A-League, and scored 5 goals, all of them headers, in the second half of the season. He was one of the revelations as Adam Taggart just returned and was finding his feet. Taggart really taken up the mantle this season. Missing today with a little calf strain, which he actually picked up early on in that Wanderers match. Managed to play on, provided a brilliant assist for Kolakovsky, and was also involved in the goal for Williams. As Curto picks up the ball, now trying to get involved for the first time. Being forced to stretch for everything at the moment, with the little 1-2 with Davila. He couldn't release Jed Drew. And that was a real opportunity for Macarthur as well, because Drew is lightning quick.
Well, we've seen both teams took the ball away, promising situations. So they're very often with Willie Davila. Perth, when they did win the ball, Court play was coming up the right-hand side and just tried to force the issue through the middle.
Shushnia cleaning up ahead of Valère Germain, who's just gone out of the game a little bit. Valère Germain, we haven't seen too much of him, but we haven't seen much of Macarthur as an attacking force in this second half. He provided the assist for Davila's goal in the 9th minute. Otherwise, it's been a defensive display, certainly in the last 15 minutes. They're preparing for a change as well. Milet Stojovski's side. Response to the double change from Perth. Williams through the legs of Bacchus. Very nicely done. Finds Warland. He's getting a lot further forward in this second half. His cutback, though, is in between Kolakovsky and Colley. Now, Jed Drew. Jed Drew charging forward. It's a good ball for Germain. Drew comes short. Germain looks to the back post towards Raphael. Oh, and Gio Colley's pass back almost straight to Uli Davila. There's the challenge from Raphael, and he gets a yellow card for lunging in on Kamau. Substitution to come.
That came off the back of a nice sweeping move from Macarthur. We saw them do it so well last week.
Clayton Lewis comes on for Jed Drew, so the Kiwi international in the middle of the park. We'll probably see Jake Holman liberated from that defensive midfield position. He'll head out to the left. Raphael will switch flanks to the right. And with Holman on the left wing, it will look a little bit more like a 4-4-2 as well for Macarthur. The rule says you're not allowed to play the ball when you're on the ground, and Mustafa Amini was doing that, and Clayton Lewis was not too impressed.
He just lost his footing, didn't he? And then it almost just got wedged in there. There's not much he could do yet. Of course, he was still staying on the ball, Mustafa Amini, but...
Immediate payback from Mustafa Amini, and he gets a yellow card. I think he probably knew that one was coming.
It's another exchange of phone numbers. See, just frustration there, isn't it, straight away?
I think it was Clayton Lewis who was upended by Keegan Jelicic a couple of weeks back as well for Brisbane as soon as he'd come on the field. Now he's straight into the action again with Mustafa Amini. Good player as well, the number 23 for Macarthur, leaving Wellington Phoenix at the end of last season. Oh, that's Germain giving it away. Bacchus trying to win it back. Amini finds Colley. All the way across with Benny. Daniel Benny down to the byline, drives it across, and Tommy Uscock's there to clear the danger. Corner to follow for the away side.
Well, they're probing, aren't they? This time it's Daniel Benny, inside then out. It's not a bad ball across. Tommy Uscock with the clearance at the near post.
Still looking for his first A-League goal. Daniel Benny, just a teenager. In it comes. Good pace on the ball and into the right part of the box as well. Here's Mustafa Amini again. Amini back with Katrumbas. Now Kolakovsky, first time ball, clever from Kolakovsky. He caught out Curto in the defence, but unfortunately also his own teammates. Now Williams. trying to find the angle. It was deflected as well, but safely into the arms of Curto.
Well, that last passage sort of sums it up for Perth, doesn't it? Got him behind. A bad ball across, you see here. Great ball, great run. Olakowski just fires it across that 6 yard, and everybody else had just dropped off that line.
Colley back with Shushnya. Perth still looking for the equaliser, but if in the first half it never looked like coming, certainly they're getting closer and closer in this second period.
Well, they're getting in behind now with some regularity as well. Some good runs into those channels in the wider areas. It's just getting that support players in the box as well, the right areas.
Meany's ball, the header away by Uzcock. Warland driving it back, appeals for a handball. Probably would have been outside the box if it had been given. Play continues. Williams, who I mentioned is good in the air, trying to get on the end of that one.
Here's another look. Back's turn. Does hit the arm, but natural silhouette, I would say.
That's certainly the correct vocabulary. As here goes Davila. With Germain taking over. Space on the left-hand side. Hit first time by Holman. Good stop, Ollie Sale. And they almost did it again, Macarthur.
Well, that's what they do so well. He hasn't had much to do today, Ollie Sale, but called on there to make a good save. The second half has pretty much all been Perth glory. They show again, you cannot switch off against this Macarthur team, because the moment you do, they will catch you napping.
Well, there are the shots, in contrast to the score. Mind you, the XG, for what it's worth, is still in Macarthur's favour, despite just those two shots on target, one in each half. There it is. It's low for this stage of the match. That won't surprise anyone. Now Raphael couldn't release, and Warland and Kamau doing the job. Bouncing ball beats Williams. Now Bacchus. Davila. The crowd trying to get their side. Here's Curto. Uzcock. A bit of holding on, Warland and Raphael. Change coming for Perth Glory. They were just about to make the change and then pulled up. Germain with Nicolau. Look at the Perth players now. It's a more effective press, and Nicolau gets away with it. Stajic crumples. Can't believe the decision has gone that way.
Well, he was closer than anyone. I don't know how he can say that that doesn't come off a Perth player last.
Now Sale with Latchman. Benny. There's another one for Daniel Benny to chase, taking on Vujitsa. He's done well. Little touch back for Katrumbas. Into the area, goes down. Did he have front position? He did. penalty, says referee Daniel Elder. Bacchus can't believe it. It will be checked by VAR. But Johnny Katrumbas has got a little reward for what has been an enterprising match from him.
Well, he's been ever willing to get forward. You see there, he just gets the foot across Bacchus, and when he reaches out for the ball, he collects him and rolls his ankle in the process. I have to say, I think the referee's got that one right. For a brief moment, I thought his touch was a little too heavy, but you see there, he gets his foot across. The touch comes from Bacchus on his ankle, and as he goes to plant it, he rolls it. Down he goes.
Well, Perth have the opportunity now, with 20 minutes left to play, to get back on level terms. Mustafa Amini is standing over the 12-yard spot. They have had 2 penalties awarded this season, Perth, and they haven't scored. As Osler comes on for Riley Warland. It was going to be, we're told, for Daniel Benny, but they changed their mind at the last moment. It's Warland that comes off for Osler. There it is, Mustafa Amini. That's one of the penalties saved. Taggart was also denied by Alex Paulson this season. So is it a case of third time lucky for Perth Glory? Mustafa Amini against a penalty expert in Curto. Straight down the middle. And Perth are level. 18 minutes left to play. Their second half has just about deserved it.
Well, you see on the Harvey Norman replay, Bacchus just sticks the foot out. It's enough for Katrumbas to go down, and Mr. Amini not mucking around, straight down the middle, no celebrations. It's get back to halfway, let's go. And he feels that they have the momentum in this game, and they can go and take all 3 points away from home for just the first time in a very, very long time.
I think last time was back-to-back wins on the road was back in 2019. So approaching 5 years since they've known this feeling. They're not there yet, mind you. They have never won in Campbelltown. 3 losses in 3 previous visits.
Well, they've been much better in this second half. A lot more purpose to their play.
Osler, good positive first touch for him. Colley with Amini. That goal will do his confidence the world of good as well. He's the new leader in the absence of Oliver Zanuck in midfield. Benny deflected behind. And another corner.
Well, Perth Glory are starting to get in behind down their right-hand side with ever more frequent regularity. And on that occasion there, Davey Williams was at the back post, just asking for the little dink. Look at him there, all unmarked. He puts his arms up, says, just get up, get your head up and have a look. The momentum is with Perth.
Amini's ball in, headed away by Germain. Only as far as Gio Colley. Who floats it back in towards Benny. And his header straight down the middle, but the chances are really starting to come Perth's way now.
Quite well there, Benny. Fortunately for him, straight down the middle to the arms of Curto, but Sturjovski will be starting to think, well, what do we have to do now? We need to change. The momentum is starting to flow against us. We need to start getting a grip on this game and start controlling the tempo.
Well, they equalised late on in that 3-3 against Western United before their win against Brisbane, but the 2 draws before that, both 1-1. They conceded the equalising goal and weren't able to find that next gear to go up. Oh, was Amini clatters into Matt Yeoman. Doesn't have too much of a kind word, I don't think. There it is, strong into the hips. '204th A-League appearance for Matt Yeoman. Macarthur joining his long list of clubs, just 3 goals in those 204 A-League appearances. The most recent one was a winner against Macarthur, the team he plays for now, which he got last season when he was with the Newcastle Jets. Changes coming, attacking changes for the most part. Looked like Jerry Skotadis was one of those. Bernardo Oliveira, the new signing as well. As we see the ladder as it stands, Macarthur with a point. They stay, well, they leapfrog Melbourne City because they were behind them on the number of wins. But that point lifts them above, but they miss out on the chance to join the Mariners and Western Sydney on 24 points. And the Perth point doesn't change things too much for them. They stay second from bottom, which they will with a win as well, as Raphael is on the charge. Gio Colli defends well.
Well, we're in that final 15 minutes now. 1 in 3 goals in Macarthur games in that period. I think there's more to be written in this script yet.
And as we said, with Davy Williams on the field, there's nothing he likes more since arriving in Perth than a last-minute winner as well. Amini, it's a nice ball for Kolakowski. It falls, perhaps. Williams hits it. He struck it cleanly enough at the near post, but misses wide.
Well, not too sure about the touch from Kolakowski, but Davy Williams was just trying to run around it, wasn't he? Look, it's just a little wide, and he's just trying to get his body around it. Can't quite hook the foot around.
Lockie Rose is that third player who's coming on now. Holman, Raphael and Kieran Bacchus, the players making way. So the 2 wide men both come off. In Holman and Raphael. For Rose, Bernardo Oliveira, while Skotadis comes into the middle of the park for Kieran Bacchus. Bernardo, who made his Macarthur debut. You can hear the roar his name gets called out over the loudspeakers. It's been a tough season for Lockie Rose, but he's involved there, finding Germain. Germain closed down by Shushnyar. He's done well, still going. What's the referee? Made penalty against Shushnyar. Well, Germain was lacking on pace, but what he lacked in straight line speed, he made up for with a little swivel of the hips. Not once, but twice.
Well, my first impressions were there was a whole heap of shirt in the hand of Shushnyar. I wasn't sure if it was outside or inside of the box when that occurred. We'll have to have another look. See, there's the shirt tugging. Goes into the box. He's still got hold of the shirt. Jermaine goes down. Well,
if that shirt tugging continues into the box, then it's a penalty.
Yeah.
There's Mustafa Amini, absolutely furious. And he needs his own players to just settle him down, Mustafa Amini, because he wanted to have words with Elder. The penalty has been confirmed. Well, it wasn't easy to see, but you spotted it, Macca. Shushnya had a big hand of Germain's shirt, and that's what he's been pinned for. Now, Valère Germain knows a thing or two about a pressure penalty as well. In the 1-1 draw against Newcastle, he netted the equalising penalty in the 99th minute as Alen Stejcic picks up a yellow card for his remonstrations from the touchline. Well, he's saying it was a dive, which I have to admit is what it looked like at first viewing to me. But he went down rather easily. He didn't ask for anything either, Valère Germain. Just tried to get up and keep playing. But the referee had a good long look at it. And Germain has a chance now to join Uli Davila on 7 goals this season. There you see, he knows where the back of the net is. And he does often, like he did in that 99th minute against Newcastle. Head high and straight down the middle.
And you just wondered, does Ollie Sale know? Has he been looking at this?
The Frenchman, who's played nearly every minute of the season so far for Macarthur, with the chance to put them back in front, and he does so with aplomb into the top left-hand corner this time, and the Bulls are back in front.
Well, he was the man that won the penalty. The counter-attacking football looked like he'd run out of space, a little swivel of the hips, and he got himself across Susnio, who had hold of the shirt from outside the box into the box. See here on the Harvey Norman replay, the hand you can see, Susnio that whole time is holding the shirt. And Ollie Sale has just talked himself into a yellow card as well, but it's a fantastic penalty from Valère Germain. No chance for Ollie Sale. Rifles it into the roof of the net. And Macarthur find themselves in front again. Well, they said there'd be more to be written, didn't we?
There's that yellow card to Ollie Sale, who's still having words. Alen Stejcic as well is still raising the arms in the air of Daniel Elder, the referee. Well, Mackie, you called it early on. The last 15 minutes were always going to be where this one was decided. Confirmation of those yellow cards, one for Stejcic as well as Amini. Got a feel for Perth Glory. They have to do it all over again now. They've fought so hard in this second half. Must be said, Macarthur weren't happy with the penalty awarded against them either. Neither were Perth Glory. So perhaps these things do tend to even themselves out as well. There was clear contact in both, and they were both scored. Amini again. Benny's had a good game for Perth, as he's just pulled up after that run. Looking a little ginger.
Just wonder if maybe that's just a little bit of cramp he felt. Does look tired, doesn't he? They've been better, much better in the second half, Perth. All the momentum seemed to be going their way, but Macarthur have found a way.
And this is where Macarthur are really dangerous. We talk about those last-minute goals. It's in the AFC Cup as well, where they're nearly in double figures for goals in the last 15 minutes of matches. That's now 10 in the last 15 minutes of matches, more than any other side in the competition this season. As the throw goes Kamal's way. Unfortunately for Perth Glory, that's now 8 conceded in the last 10 minutes of matches, which means they join Brisbane Roar and Melbourne City as the worst offenders in that department as well. Look at the stats though. Opposition box well and truly in Perth's favour as Williams, little nod on. Curto will get there. And it's still no clean sheets for either side, so we thought that might be hard to come by.
Well, it hasn't been their forte, has it? Goals have been, though.
Oh, as Davila robs Latchman. Davila still wide. That's the second time Uli Davila has been presented with a gift in front of goal, and he can't take it. The goal kick will have to wait a moment as the double change is coming. Bodnar and Zimmerino coming on in the final changes for Perth Glory. Daniel Benny makes way for Zimmerino. And Luke Bodnar comes in for Mustafa Amini. He'll go into the middle of the park, the number 4, alongside Gio Colli. Osler taking on Lockie Rose. His cross is a good one. Kolakovsky. Oh, and there were 2 Perth players in very close proximity who just watched it roll into the arms of Curto.
It was a decent ball in, and everything just seemed to go into slow motion when Kolakovsky hit that ball. Curto just watched it roll through plenty of bodies. He's grateful that it just dropped to his grasp.
We just saw the Paramount Plus player index there, excuse me, Macca. Uli Davila leading the way, and he's leading the way again here. With Jerry Skutadis. Now Clayton Lewis looking for Lockie Rose. Davila again takes over. Davila defended just wide. Ollie Sale was flying across to his right, trying to block it.
He's still going, isn't he? Uli Davila with a chance just moments ago. Again, forces the issue there. It's another strike away. Fortunately for him and Macarthur, both on the wrong side of the post.
Are there more last-minute heroics for Perth Glory? Katrumbas with Colli. Both sides have dipped into the bench. Colli's cross, headed away by Yerman. He's been uncompromising at the back today. Yerman and Buskok. Bodnar. His pass for Colli, picked off. Now Davila. Going again. Rose wants it in the middle from Bernardo against Latchman. It's in between Macarthur players, but now Lewis gets there. And trying to get one over his compatriot and national team teammate, Ollie Sale, from distance.
Well, this is the danger for Perth, because they're going to commit players forward to chase the game. And that's when you will see the likes of Davila get on the ball, support play getting forward in those spaces that are left.
And that's when Macarthur's transition game, which they've been unable to play for most of the day, will come into its fore. It's no surprise that Davila's goal in the first half and their most dangerous moments have all come when Perth have been committing numbers forward. Katrumbas is caught by Skutadis. Now we saw a free kick earlier in the half from Perth, a little further out onto the right, but they failed to get the ball in to a dangerous area. Gio Colli standing over this one. Nearly everyone forward for Perth, everyone back for Macarthur, back post. Trent Ostler was there. And there's Yanni Nicolaou with a good defensive header, but he's conceded the corner.
It wasn't a bad ball from Collie. You can see just getting around the back. Trent Ostler taking the ball. Good clearing header from Nicolaou.
Collie again. Good defensive header from Rose. Back in from Kamau. That's caught Lewis in the midrib. Now, Katrumbas accelerates. Oh, Kolakovsky with a great run in behind. Curto thinks he should have a goal kick. Corner given. 5 minutes of stoppage time has just begun. And now it's game on. Kolakovsky's ball towards the back post. Rose with the glancing header. Here's Kamau. Bodnar looking for the ball. Bernardo did well once and then twice. Luke Bodnar again with Shushnya. Rolling the ball into Kolakovsky, a little touch. Nicely done with Zimmerino. Oh, and he had Williams outside him. Might yet find him. Kolakovsky absolutely furious.
It's been his mantra in the second half, hasn't it?
Final change coming now, and it's Joel Bertolicio. There's the foul, only just enough. According to the referee, Kolakovsky, well, that tells that story. Valère Germain, for the moment, is the match winner for the Macarthur Bulls. Very cool from the penalty spot. The young herd in attendance, enjoying the final minutes of this one. Bernardo did well, but so did Katrumbas. Oh, Miller getting that one all mixed up. Williams, rather. Little touch from Rocky Rose. Can't find a teammate. Bodnar. Big switch of play is a good one for Trent Ostler. Under pressure from Bertolicio. A new player into the game. Collie. Ostler. His cross. Oof. That's a great aerial challenge between Yerman and Zimmerino. Katrumbas. Little touch with Williams. Comes inside, Williams still going. Davy Williams, oh, he's done it again! 3 out of 3 for Davy Williams in the 93rd minute. He came in, he went out, and he drilled it low, and surely has earned a share of the spoils for Perth with another late show.
Well, read the script. It was written in the stars. There was always going to be late action in this one. On the Harvey Norman replay, he looked like he wanted to play it out wide, and then it just opened up. Great dribbling, inside and out, and he gets his strike away. Look there, thinks, I'll play the ball. Now inside, outside. Lovely low strike under Curto. And Macarthur cannot believe it. From the tight angle, they draw level in the 93rd minute. Well, we spoke about how Alan Stadgett asked him to get the winner last time out. Has he drawn them level? Has he got a point? Well, there's still a minute and a half to go in this game. You never know with Macarthur's games.
Plenty of time for more to come in this one. And for the 7th match in a row, Perth Glory have scored at least 2 goals. And the goals that are being scored in this Isuzu Ute A-League season is going to explode the all-time season record for goals. It's almost a certainty. We're up over 3.5 goals once again in this one. Yerman And there might yet be more, because there's going to be a few more seconds added on as well. Bertolicio with the little ball back, Scatardus. They need the ball in the box. Clayton Lewis with Vujica. He looks up, cross deflected. Bodnar's header. Oliveira's there. That's a good jump from Bernardo. In towards Rose. And Shushnar's header may not have been intentional, but it was a back header and it's claimed by Ollie Sale. The 5 minutes are up. Will there be one added on for that goal? Sale goes long. Clayton Lewis with Vujica. There is no more time. Well, it may not be back-to-back wins on the road for Perth Glory, but in the death, in the 3rd minute of stoppage time, they have made it 2 games on the road in Western Sydney without defeat. 4 points from a possible 6, and they will take that. Disappointment for Macarthur, who thought they'd done enough when Valère Germain fired them back in front with 8 minutes left to play. But this Perth Glory side under Alan Stajic has plenty of heart and plenty of fight, and they showed that right to the death in Davy Williams. They have a specialist in stoppage time goals. Davila and Germain for the Bulls, Amini and Williams for Glory, as it finishes 2-2 at Campbelltown Stadium.
Thanks very much, Tristan. Uli Davila, congratulations on our Isuzu Ute A-League Player of the Match today, but I suppose disappointed that you couldn't hold on at the end there.
Yeah, to be honest, very disappointing. I think we gave many points away in the last 5 minutes, so yeah, disappointed. Yeah, a lot of feelings, you know.
Did you think maybe in that last 10 minutes you might have been able to open up that advantage, find that extra goal that could have put it to bed?
Yeah, I have one or two options there. Should have scored at least one, but yeah, we have to control better games. We cannot still give away so many points in the 5 minutes. So yeah, that's the disappointing part. But yeah, we just need to keep going and go game by game.
There wasn't much intensity in the first half. Did you guys feel that on the field?
Yeah. It was very hard. Very hard, to be honest. It was so hot in the first half. I think sometimes it's not good to play at this time, you know, also for the fans, for the people. You cannot even give a good performance, a good show to the people. So, yeah, it's hard, especially now in summer. But, yeah, that's what we have to do, and, yeah, we need to keep going.
Uli, appreciate you talking to us. Congratulations on your Player of the Match award.
Thank you.
Stadge, another late show. Dave Williams there at the end. What are the emotions coming out of that one? Is that a point earned or 3 lost?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I thought we were the better team. Yeah, 2, yeah, 3. Yeah, most is close, but no, I thought we were the better team. We deserved to win. Even in the first half, we were a little bit passive, but the possession was good. Penetration was pretty poor. Second half, there was a lot better tempo and created numerous chances. I thought we were the better team throughout the whole second half. They had, 2 counter-attacks that, they were dangerous off. And especially when you've got Davila, that's always tricky. But, yeah, I was really proud of the second half. I thought we played really well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. You must have been happy with the way they responded to your talk at half-time, because it was sort of a different-looking Perth team in that second half, wasn't it?
Yeah, just the tempo increased and the penetration improved. I thought our possession was good in both halves, but there was just no tempo in the first half. And, once we added that to the game, we looked a threat, on a lot of occasions. So that was really pleasing. It was good to get back level. I thought it was a pretty soft pen they got. I don't think that was a pen at all, in my view. It's probably the softest pen in the A-League this year. So, but anyway, that's what you get. Lucky the boys had a bit of courage and spirit to come back again, and I think that's what we showed over the last month.
Is that hard as a coach? Obviously, dealing with decisions like those and trying to work out how the players are going to get their heads back in the game?
Oh, look, it's up to them, isn't it? They're the leaders on the field, and they showed that again. They showed the courage, and again, in adversity, the players have stood up. And I don't think anyone back home in Perth could be any prouder of what they're putting out over the last few weeks.
Thanks, Dutch.
Thank you. Cheers.